What's up, everybody? I'm Brandon, and you're watching ADHD Game Dev. Hello, 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 hello. So nice to see you today. Subscriber question asking me about a workflow that I've been trying to figure out, and we are working on getting the stylized nature pack, which is from user Senteri Soinen on the Epic Store. Oh, such a lovely, lovely set of images. I do enjoy them. Let's take a look here. Ah, pretty. Isn't that pretty? And the scene that he did as a preview. This is all in Unreal Engine, though, okay? TikTok. Okay. Think. Looks nice. However, because it's all for Unreal Engine, I got the FBX files and I was able to import them, but they don't actually have any textures attached to them, so I have to rebuild all the textures because, well, it's just a little bit of work. The other thing that you'll notice here is that, take a look here. Like, for example, that big rock there and these other rocks in the moss. This is going to be all programmatic stuff, and I don't really understand it. I get the idea. There are these shaders that allow you to just go ahead and decide that this layer is a different texture when you apply it, and then you can build that out in your program. Still a little bit rough in my head. So what I've done here on these, for example, the tree and the log, I had to do a little bit of detective work and find the assets for them in the files that were included. This one would have been clearly marked as a R, so I can guess pretty well that that's R for roughness. And if this one is marked stump log N, that's N for normal. So if I tab into this, you can see that in my UV editing over here, I can see that this log is textured, the stump is textured over there, and this log is textured over there. So now my detective work, my sleuthing work says this file called stump log. Okay, it's for stumps and logs. I'm smart. So I had to build them out here to set up a new shader for them. So if you're doing a principled BSDF in Blender, a lot of this is honored when you export it over into Godot. So we'll take a look. We'll see these two, and I also did this rock. With the rock, what I wound up doing, because I'm not smart enough for all these things. What I do instead is that I just set up my own texture. I took his original texture that was, what was it called? Some weird thing I don't know how to do with the RGB split. And I don't know how to set up shaders in Godot. So I just said, all right, fine. I will just redo the edges in just highlight edges. And that looks pretty nice to me because otherwise I just have that roughness on it. But I'll just go ahead and make my own out of the images that he provided, and happiness occurs. Okay, we go ahead and export that as a GLB file and import it into Godot. And voila. I was going to say something more whiz-bang than that. Voila. Magic words. And we get these elements here into Godot. And they look pretty good. I got to fix my rendering. It looks like /lines. We'll fix it. We'll get to everything. You can tell it looks pretty good. And this one I used, as I've talked about before, the Simple Grass textured add-on that I loved so much. I was able to just bring in this PNG file. That's nice. I like it. I think what I'm going to end up doing is making a moss object on my own and just make it kind of lumpy bumpy and just have that as an object that I can copy and paste repeatedly here into Godot. So that'll be fun. But here's that big rock, and you see how that looks. Let's go ahead and we'll play the game. We'll play a game and we'll see how it looks when we actually run it. But that means that we've made progress on a lot of things, but we still have a little bit more to do, but the workflow is starting to come together. The other thing that I wound up needing to do is to not let it repeat all of these textures over and over, because the log and that stump, as you see, were sharing the same texture, so I had to go and tell it to hey, stop that. Tell it to go and just remap to the same single set of textures. So I had to break the linkages for a second and redo it. But yeah, these objects look pretty good, I think. I think they're good assets. And the reason I got that asset pack is that it had a whole lot of stuff. It had trees, it had grasses, it had mushrooms. So I'm going to start probably redoing a few of my assets. Like these trees here are pretty good. These were from Sketchfab in the first place. I like them. But if I can get the trees from the other pack to work. They'll probably fit into this world a little bit better. So we'll see about that and getting that to match up. What did I mean when I said that the textures I had to fix? Well, what we do is that we have a folder full of textures here, and you'll see that I've got log, stump, edit, and all that. So I want to make sure that my logs and stumps are only mapped to that set. And when you export each one, it's going to go ahead and give you copies of everything. So I need to fix that and make sure that this log GLB and stump GLB are referring to just the shared set of textures that I want it to use instead of making another set of textures. I think the way to do that is to right click on it, and I go in here to something. Edit dependencies. Yes. Hey, look at that. I did a thing. So anyway, I think what I'll do is break the dependencies and then try to fix them. Guys, I told you, I keep telling you over and over, I always joke, I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And the reason I say that, I don't know what I'm doing is not to say that I'm stupid. I'm obviously not stupid. The point is that if I can just stumble through and still make something good, it says, one, I really think that Godot is a wonderful engine and it lets me get in there and just play around even though I barely know what I'm doing. And two, if I can do it, you can do it. So that's great. And it really does help to know multiple programs. Like I know Photoshop and I know Blender, and I've used them both. And that's making up for my lack of knowledge in Godot. So we're making progress. But anyway, I hope that helps you. I hope that you'll subscribe. Don't forget to talk to your mom on Mother's Day. And I hope that you will be awesome today.